Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Oops. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 13, Text 9. And this is a continuation of the talks with between Jad Bharat Maharaj Rahugana, and Jad Bharat's really describing the material situation, how horrendous it really is for the conditioned soul who identifies with the material body. And it's very, very graphic, very detailed descriptions of what's going on. So, text 9. Ma Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasabhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paskitadi Satarni Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vyāsadeva Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. So just in case someone still has some idea of being able to enjoy materially, Jad Bharat's gonna help us with that. The conditioned soul in the material forest is sometimes swallowed by a python or crushed. At such a time he's left lying in the forest like a dead person, devoid of consciousness and knowledge. Sometimes other poisonous snakes bite him. Being blind to his consciousness, he falls down into a dark well of hellish life, with no hope of being rescued. Whew. What a picture. It's like, I mean, it's actually horror. That's horror. When you see that, he's lying there, he's been bitten by a snake, he's almost dead, and other snakes bite him. Well, that's like a nightmare. It's a horror. That's like a horror. Absolute horror. Commentary by Prabhupada. When one becomes unconscious due to being bitten by a snake, one cannot understand what is taking place outside the body. This unconscious condition is the condition of deep sleep. Similarly, the conditioned soul is actually sleeping on the lap of the illusory energy. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung, Kotra Nidaya Maya Pisa Chirakole. O living entity, how long will you sleep in this condition on the lap of the illusory energy? People do not understand that they're actually sleeping in this material world, being devoid of knowledge of spiritual life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says, Enechasari Maya Nasibaralagi Harinama Mahamantra Latu Mimagi. I have brought the medicine to awaken every living being from perpetual sleep. Please receive the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Awaken. The Canto Upanishad also says, Utista Jagrata Prapya Vara Nibodhata. O living entity, you're sleeping in this material world. Please get up, take advantage of your human form of life. The sleeping condition means loss of all knowledge. In Bhagavad Gita, it is also said, Yanisa Sarvabhutanam Tasyam Jagarti Samyami. What is night for all living beings is the time of awakening for the self-controlled. Even in the higher planets, everyone is under the spell of illusory energy. No one's really interested in the real values of life. The sleeping condition, called Kalasarpa, the time factor, keeps the conditioned soul in a state of ignorance, and therefore pure consciousness is lost. In the forest, there are many blind wells, and if one falls down in one, there's no chance of being rescued. In a state of sleep, one remains perpetually bitten by some animals, especially snakes. So snakes very often that symbolizes envious people, other envious living entities. So continually in the forest of material enjoyment, one meets misfortune. It says in the verse, the misfortune that the soul meets is that sometimes he's swallowed by a python or crushed. So the python swallows its prey whole, and then also I think the python, doesn't he curl around his prey, what he's captured, and crush it and then swallow it whole, something like that. So this is what goes on in the material situations, crushed and swallowed by the material energy, crushed and swallowed. And he's left like a dead person, devoid of consciousness and knowledge. Devoid of consciousness and knowledge. So they may still be acting, very, very active, but they're devoid of consciousness and knowledge. And what is that knowledge? Knowledge of the spirit soul, knowledge of part and parcel of Krishna, knowledge of their eternal nature, their blissful nature. No idea how to behave in their original position, their spiritual position. Instead, they're in this comatose state, having been poisoned by the material identification, identifying with the material body and mind as the self. So he's being blind to his consciousness. Then he falls down in a dark well of hellish life with no hope of being rescued. So the dark well is very often compared to the attachment for family, society, friendship, like this, in the material plane, all based on the body. So this is another way to describe the material situation. So, but it looks very attractive for the person devoid of consciousness and knowledge to make a life for themselves in the material world, which means falling into a dark well with no hope of being rescued. But in the purport, Prabhupada's commentary, we can get rescued by Lord Chaitanya's special grace, special mercy, simply by taking the holy name of the Lord. I brought the medicine to awaken every living entity, because simply by chanting, performing devotional service, that means coming into contact with the devotional energy, divine energy of the Lord. And then one's consciousness is restored, one's knowledge is restored. Connecting up, tapping in, plugging in. What was it? Turn on, tune out, turn on, and what was it? Oh, drop out, turn on, drop out, tune in, and turn on. So drop out of the material world, tune into Krishna, and turn on. just everyone's unplugged, basically. Conditioned souls are unplugged. They're plugged in to the wrong energy. They have to plug into the right energy, devotional energy. So, text 10. Sometimes, in order to have a little insignificant sex enjoyment, one searches after debauched women. In this attempt, one is insulted and chastised by the women's kinsmen. This is like going to take honey from a beehive, being attacked by the bees. Sometimes, after spending lots of money, one may acquire another woman for some extra sense enjoyment. Unfortunately, the object of sense enjoyment, the woman, is taken away or kidnapped by another debauchee. Oh boy. These things are portrayed in the cinema and in the media, the books and the television and the movies. I mean, this is the subject of all the entertainment. If they're not going through it themselves, then they go to watch it as entertainment. These are the storylines for all the entertainment, because this is what's going on in the material world. This is how people are spending their time. This is their entertainment, their so-called pleasure, is to experience these wonderful things. Oh boy. With no idea of anything else. No idea of something higher. So, it's the condition of the degraded society. So Prabhupada says it's like going to take honey from a beehive, being attacked by the bees. So devotees collect honey. They offer to Krishna. But this example is stealing, trying to steal some sense pleasure. And then the attack by the bees is you get the reaction. So he's insulted and chastised by the women's kinsmen. This is actually describing a society that's even a little elevated. In today's society, so many debauched women around that don't even get insulted by, there isn't any society to get the reaction from the kinsmen. Everyone's degraded. But you can see in a society that has some structure to it, then, the family, if the woman is degraded like that, and then there's some incident, then the family members may become very violent. So, but even in today's society, who cares? That's how degraded it is. And the other part of the verse is spending lots of money when we acquire women for some extra sense enjoyment. We see that, actually you see that, see it a lot in these so-called leaders. The average person doesn't really make too much of a headlines. It's not much of a notice is made of it. But when a leader is caught in some debauchery, then they make a big commotion about it.